Hey, what's up, him? All right. We might give a second and see if Bird joins. I know she was in the Discord. Yeah, that's what happens when you play somebody vastly better than me. Um, a lot of it was really basic stuff, but I wanted to start there because I'd rather make sure I know. He did end up debunking some suspicions I had, which is good. I thought it would be better to always space nair, but you can get punished for a space nair more than you can for a cross up nair a lot of the time. I don't know. I feel like he sent me a lot of notes, and it's more than what we went over in the video, but I'll go over that. I think I just need to get more practice with it. I did a couple of the 1v1 tourneys after just to kind of try to implement it. It's really hard when you're actually fighting somebody because some people, I'm convinced they have no game plan. They just throw out moves. And then some people don't give me a time to kind of attempt. I don't know. It's just not good practice. I'll have to get it in training mode first. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this. So, I'm just going to do winning, slight winning, even, lose, and then anybody that I feel I don't have enough experience against, I'll put it here. And I'll try to explain why I have people in these rankings instead of just, oh, this goes here. I guess we'll start off with Mario. So, Mario with Link, for me, I feel like he might win slightly because where he does kind of have to approach a lot, he's better up close than me. And the flood can kind of screw me over on my recovery pretty easily. Cape can be annoying. I think played properly, I should outrange him, but that doesn't always work. I know a lot of Marios like to fall with Fireball onto my shield, or they'll follow it up with a grab, which sucks. But a lot of them just, it's a lot of aerials, and I have to time how to punish which aerial they're doing. Their combo game does destroy me though, so I wouldn't put it all the way in winning, but I'm gonna say it's a slight win for Mario for me. I feel like it's an uphill battle every time I fight one, but it doesn't feel impossible. Or I guess that would be losing. Um, let's see. Donkey Kong, it's winning. I mean, he can even it up. You know, he's got his grabs, and once he gets an advantage state going, it's fine. Hey, what's up, Bird? Um, but the problem with Donkey Kong is just he's so big. His disadvantage state is so bad, and he has no real mix up on his recovery. Bomb pretty much destroys his recovery. Technically, I can spike it if I want, if I can time it right. But if I look out for grab and don't do anything stupid, honestly, there's not a lot DK should be doing. He has to approach me, and it's hard for him to navigate the wall. Oh, what's this? This is this follower goal that we had. It's a matchup chart. I'm just gonna kind of go in a little bit of detail how I feel like I perform with Link. I'll take in like for some characters I'll take in the normal opinion, but for most of it it's just my own personal in my experience. Donkey Kong, he's he's winning. Now Samus I'm gonna put it even, honestly. All right, I'll do yours next. I fight Samus's a lot, and I have to play it a little bit differently because they're fine to not really approach either. But I mean, they're light. They're not super light, but they're light enough. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's even. I feel like there's never during a match against a Samus do I ever feel like I'm struggling more than the Samus is. It's just Samus is probably a little bit more content not to approach and has a little bit more drift to try to get around my projectiles. But Nair invalidates half of their stuff. Their mix up recovery is pretty good actually, which can be annoying against a hard Samus. But there's a lot of the time, if we clank, a lot of the time I win. Their smash attacks don't work half the time, which is nice. I do have to watch out for forward air. I get caught with forward air jumping in a lot, but that gets predictable. I don't know. I feel like it's even. Like I said, I fight Samus a lot. I never felt like Samus is something I struggle against. What's up, Troy? All right, I'll start with yours then. All right, we'll go to Joker. Joker, easy winning. Just kidding. Actually, I feel like Joker actually might be a slight lose. Only because of Arsene. If he didn't have Arsene, honestly, I feel like it would still be winning for him, but I don't feel like it would be as bad. I have to watch out for Arsene. But a lot of the time, especially his recovery, if I time it right, I should always be able to get him with the C drop, or I can do Nair off the ledge. If I keep the pressure, he should be screwed. Now, what he does have is his speed, but he kind of lacks on range without Arsene too. I don't know. I can see it. Honestly, I can see it being anywhere in these three, but in my experience, I'm gonna put Joker here. I don't really struggle with him, but there are certain times where I'm like, okay, he's just faster than me. Usually, when Arsene is out, is whenever I have more difficulty. Let's see. Next off, we will go with. You know what? We'll do Villager. Where'd Villager go? There it is. So Villager, this isn't where I'm gonna leave him, but Villager is an interesting case. He's one of those characters that plays a little bit different. So he doesn't really care to approach either, and his slingshots honestly outrange a lot of my stuff. I put like a, so Villager, like I said, he doesn't have to approach, and that's what I want. He's perfectly fine to kind of hover away from me and just shoot pellets. But where he struggles is his range, and his kill power for certain moves is fine, but he doesn't have a good out of shield. His recovery, technically, I should be able to punish every time. I should be able to pop the balloons and kind of screw him over there. I do have to watch out for pocket, but as long as I don't give you my bomb, I should be fine. He's not really overwhelming or anything. I think the biggest problem with Villager for me is letting him pocket my bomb, and then a lot of the time I get hit during a preemptive part of my move by a random pellet. I feel like, honestly, it might be even, because for every one of his strengths he has against Link, he doesn't really have that much, and his weaknesses are kind of just typical for Link. Link outranges, he outkills, but well, Villager kind of outranges. Like I said, he doesn't really have the best out of shield. His grab's not the best either. If you cross up Villager, what's the best that he can do in shield? And there's really not a whole lot. His moves aren't too safe on my shield either. I think as long as I don't get caught preemptively throwing stuff and get caught by um, pellets and get gimped that way, it's usually pretty even. It's a matchup I have to approach differently. I have to be a little bit more, not really patient, but I have to kind of just respect his space more than some of the other ones that would have to rush in. All right. You know what? Since Troy's here, where's Bowser at? We'll do Bowser. There's Bowser. Let's see. I'm gonna put it in a slight win only because he's a heavy. Bowser's deceptively faster than I remember every time I fight him. But I think the fact that he's so big does work against him a lot of the time, and his recovery is pretty linear, so he's susceptible to bombs a lot. Now, that said, his up B is pretty good. I think it's actually better than mine. And I struggle with his side B a lot. I get grabbed a lot because I'm in shield. But I never feel like Bowser the character is like clearly superior. He does have good kill power, but Link is honestly pretty heavy too, so he doesn't die as early. I mean, I feel like it's a slight win on Link's part on average. All that means is if you beat me with Bowser, it just means you're better than me. Unless I'm doing this wrong. Isn't this I should be winning and I should be losing here? But even if it's yeah, it's I think it's very slightly and it's only because of how well Link can edge guard him. It's, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep him right there. You want DLC? All right, we'll do. I'm gonna put these two in separate things, even though they're the same character, because I struggle with this one more than I struggle with this one. So I still think I lose to both of them, but I've noticed whenever I play Mithra, it feels like I can't move a lot of the time. I'm just stuck either in a combo or in shield, and it's a lot harder for me to deal with that pressure. Thankfully, she can't kill, so she has to switch over, but it's it's really hard for me to get space and play with Link around Mithra's speed, and she still has the same range. They both outrange me, so I have trouble with that. The only upside is their recoveries honestly aren't the best. She's got a little bit more option, but it's easy to punish if you see it coming or just throw out a boomerang. Whereas Pyra just has so much power that a random stray hit sometimes I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm flying or I'm dead." But a lot of the time I feel like Pyra struggles with my projectiles a lot more than Mithra. I still feel like I'm losing to both of them, but if I fight somebody with Pyra the entire game, I feel a bit more even. They just outrange me, and their side B does kind of just go through mine. So if I throw a boomerang, it just goes through it and I get caught. That said, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep them like that. I think this is probably a good spot for them. If I had to put them together, I'd probably put them in losing, but I do feel like there's a slight difference there. Just the speed helps make it a little bit easier against Pyra. Okay, you want, let's see, who do you want? Banjo? Honestly, it's gonna be kind of a cop out, but I don't know. I really don't fight Banjo as much. I think I've only fought a couple that have been decent, and when I have, it's felt very similar to fighting. All right, it's felt pretty similar to fighting any other kind of zoner. Usually, if I watch out for Wonder Wing and I play patiently, I can do fine against Banjo, but I need more experience against him to be sure. So I would say for now it would either be even, but I'm gonna put him over here because I need more experience. Do Daisy. All right, where's she at? Oh, we don't have Daisy. We have Peach. Oh, we do have Daisy. Here she is. Honestly, I do feel like it's slightly winning. Like, I need more experience with them for sure, but I've never fought a Daisy or a Peach outside of like their combo game is good, yes, but a lot of the time they're just so floaty and slow. They have a hard time getting in, and as long as I don't make stupid mistakes and let them get started, I do fine. Not to mention that for some reason their recovery doesn't reach behind them, so they don't really have. Well, they have a decent mix up there, but I feel like for now, until proven otherwise by other players, in my mind, they're a slight win. I don't feel scared whenever I see a Peach or a Daisy. I'm just like, oh, okay, it's gonna be a slow match, but not the worst. They do too work. I heard them. Just heard that one too. Let's see. Oh, you want Palu next? All right. Where'd she go? I'm gonna put Palutena here. Honestly, here or here, one of the two. Probably in here because a good Palutena is annoying. If not dealing with the invulnerability on certain moves, combo game is good. A lot of them, if they don't want to approach, they kind of just cycle between auto ridicule and explosive light or flame, whatever it is. Which not necessarily a bad thing, but just annoying to deal with. If you try to jump in, usually they can anti-air me pretty well. I feel like I don't do well against Palutena. It's harder for me to edge guard her just because of the nature of a teleport recovery. I probably could get better at it, but currently I'm not good enough at it, so I feel like a lot of the time they kind of get back for free. And when I can't edge guard or ledge trap somebody, I can kind of ledge trap them, but that's where I struggle a lot more. Okay, well we'll continue with the DLC. Byleth, I'm gonna put here. I think it's a slight lose. So the biggest thing with Byleth is just the range. A lot of the time where we approach a situation with Link and I want to dash back and outrange you or punish you for doing something, or when I'm trying to approach, Byleth kind of throws out something that has more range than what I have. And it takes me a minute to deal with that. But I also struggle with Nair. The only thing that's keeping that from being more losing is the recovery is pretty bad. So if I'm patient, I should always be able to Nair them. Bomb usually does a good job of edge guarding them. But yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like I have to approach because it's not really that they camp or anything. They're comfortable sitting at a slightly farther range than I like to sit. and kind of throwing out the moves. And a lot of the time, there's wins if I try to contest it, which I shouldn't. So it feels like even though we're both slow, which is thankfully she's slow. If she was faster, she'd be like down here. Yeah, it. I feel like it's slightly in Violet's favor. It's not. It's like here, barely between even and slight lose for me. I mean, well, that kind of tracks though because say M plays both characters. I struggle more with his Byleth than I do his Joker. And I only put Joker here because of Arsene. Let's see, who did you want? Pac-Man? Alright. Pac-Man. Where does Pac-Man go? Hmm. I would put him here, but I've actually fought a couple good Pac-Mans. And I feel like since I'm not sure, I'm just gonna put him in a slight lose. I feel like he wins, but I don't know exactly where to put him. Pac-Man's another one of those characters that kind of just does his own thing and waits for you to, in my opinion, kind of waits for you to mess up and then, oh, there he goes. He's doing his own thing again. Again, these are personal, so feel free to disagree, but he's got good mix-up recovery, which makes it hard to edge guard him for me. Um, he's got good combos. God forbid he gets his little special move thing. Um, what's the thing called? Not the Space Invader, but whatever it is. Anyway, you know what I mean. Um, he gets that going. That's hard. Honestly, it's hard for me to approach Pac-Man, and it seems like a lot of Pac-Mans don't really care to approach either. So we kind of get to that point where I'm like, all right, well, I guess I've got to try to get this going. Otherwise, we're just standing here. And that's when I start to lose. Cloud? Where's he at? Oh, here he is. Cloud. We're going to put Cloud here, yeah. Only because his recovery is absolutely terrible without Limit Break. He's got a decent aerial game, good out of shield, and more range than me. But he also sometimes can kind of struggle with the wall. Once he gets in, he doesn't have as much of an issue, but he can struggle with trying to get in against Link. And then once he's off stage, if he doesn't have Limit Break, he doesn't have a whole lot of room to recover with. So there's no real mix up there. Usually one nair or one bomb and he's dead. Again, I think he's another one of those cases that if I play smart and patient, I should be fine. But I tend to not. So, we're going to put him here. You'll find a lot of these matchups, honestly, aren't going to be in these two tiers because I feel like a lot of the time they're fairly even. It's just mistakes I make or certain tools I have trouble with. There's very few characters I feel like just invalidates Link a lot of the time when I'm fighting them, or vice versa. All right, who do you want next? Yeah, what's up, Bird? Hey, what's up, Angeloid? I don't have a water bottle with me right now. Give me a second here to bit and I'll go grab one. Let's see. All right, we'll move on to. We'll just get him out of the way. Little Mac. Personally, here. All the way down here. Everybody else seems to think it's in here. So we'll compromise. And we'll go here. But do I really need to explain why I don't think I'm good at the Little Mac matchup? It was alright. It was a lot of basic stuff, but just kind of revisiting some stuff I wasn't doing properly. A lot of it seems to just be getting movements down, getting my timings better. He sent me a whole bunch of notes. I'll have to go over those later on. I haven't even looked at them yet. But yeah, because he asked me what I wanted to do. And I was like, honestly, I'd rather you just start from scratch as if I didn't know anything. That way I'm not skipping over something I thought I knew and messing up. But yeah, so yeah, for me, Little Mac would go here. But theoretically, he should probably be somewhere in here. I'm gonna put him here though. I have a lot of trouble dealing with his speed, and he kills really good, really early. Um, he's got armor, which does annoy me. That's not necessarily a losing thing. Yeah, what's up, Angel? I'm just saying, between you and Juke, I can't beat Little Mac. It don't happen. Um, the flip side is, if I play patient and right, I should be winning. He should have trouble kind of navigating the wall of projectiles and getting back, but I don't. Yeah, like that's the thing. A lot of it was just basic, like instead of trying to space and air all the time, I forgot that okay, maybe if I should just cross up Nair, some characters just can't deal with that option very well. And the next what he was saying was like the next best situation or thing to do in that situation is you can hold shield if you want, but you could also jump and fall with another Nair because it's gonna catch a lot of you're gonna miss the initial attack or grab if somebody tries to do that. And you're gonna be fast enough to usually catch somebody if they're trying to jump away. I think that's just kind of in general, but to be fair, a lot of the time F smash is supposed to be F tilt, but still not better. And he did point out my habit of staying in shield a lot. Essentially, the basics of it was try to stay around a little bit more than a roll's distance away at all times with Link. That's where he prefers to be. And not really play patiently, but um, to choose the options a little bit better. And whenever I go in, know that if this Nair connects, I'm gonna do this instead of oh, Nair didn't work. What do I do? I don't know. It's a lot more than that, but like I said, I'll look at the notes he sent. Anyway, Little Mac, I suck against. So here he is. We don't need to talk about Little Mac. Um, we'll do Young Link now. Young Link, I feel like is even. He does outspeed me and can definitely outcamp me, but he kind of struggles with killing Link compared to when he can get killed. And once I'm in, I can outrange him a lot of the time, and he's a little bit easier to edge guard. Link actually specifically does well against himself, and Young Link is just a slightly faster, weaker version of himself. So I would say it's about even. Let's see, since we're doing Young Link, we'll go ahead and we'll do Toon Link. I don't know. I don't fight. Oh. I mean, if it works, it works. But I don't fight Toon Link a lot, honestly. I think the only good Toon Link that I fought in person, won, but I don't know if. I mean, he's probably a better player than me too, but I didn't know really much on the matchup, and I've only fought a handful of them online, and that's not very frequent or very often. It'd be like once every couple months I might run into a Toon Link, and then I'm like, oh yeah, what do I do against this guy? So I think for here, I would probably put him here, but for now he's gonna be in the. I need more experience with him. Let's see. Continuing on with the Zelda theme. Chic. Um, Again, I think it's a factor of the speed. I would I would honestly put it here, but if a good Sheik knows their options to kill and is good at their game plan, I feel like I would struggle against them. I'd feel pretty oppressed, and I would probably start to do panic options. So I think personally against a good Sheik, I wouldn't do very well. Now the flip side is they do struggle to kill. They're pretty light, so I can use that against them, and they don't have the best range. All right, Spidey. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out, man. So I think for now, even though it should probably be in here, I'm gonna put Chic as a slight loss for me. Zelda. I'm gonna put Zelda at even, and that's only because I feel like once I get in, I don't have a whole lot of trouble with Zelda. But trying to get in sometimes is such a struggle that usually by the time I get in, I've got a good amount of damage. And if I do something stupid, a lot of the time with Zelda specifically, I get caught preemptively trying to edge guard her or pull bomb on the ledge by an up B. And if I look out for that, a lot of the time, honestly, I'm just patient. I usually do fine. I don't have a whole lot of trouble with her. I do outrange her a little bit. Neither's left can get kind of annoying, honestly. But as long as I look out for like one or two moves and I play smart, I feel like it's usually pretty even. So I'm gonna keep her there. Ganon. This is why I get mad whenever I lose to a Ganon. Not really mad, but both theoretically and in experience, I should always be beating Ganon. He has to navigate through my walls. He's so easy to edge guard. Yeah, he's got power, but he's slow. As long as I don't get caught again doing stupid stuff and let him get the advantage, just like with DK. If I keep that advantage, there's not a whole lot he can do. And he has a terrible time fighting me. It's just boomerang into bomb and there, just he has to do so much work just to get in that I feel like he should be in here. Now sometimes I do lose, so he'd be there, but I'm gonna put him here, and just when I lose, it's because I suck. Well, not always. There's actually sometimes people actually outplay me a lot, but a lot of the times that I've lost a Ganon matchup, it's definitely because I'm like, oh, I should not have done that. I should have seen that one coming. He was struggling the entire rest of the game, and then after about 2 hits, he just managed to even it up. Hey, what's up, Mister? Welcome, man. Like I was saying earlier, this is just my own personal one, so there's gonna be some discrepancies. I'm kind of taking into account the theoretical, but mostly just my own experience. Well, you know what? Spidey left, but we'll do him next. Pikachu. I don't know. I'm gonna I'm gonna put Pikachu here. I feel like it's, well, actually no, we'll put him here. It's definitely in Pikachu's favor either way. A lot of the situations he actually has bigger hitboxes. He's faster. He's got a couple good mix-up options on his recovery, so it's a little harder to edge guard him. But the biggest thing that annoys me when I fight a Pikachu is the fact that he pancakes. Moves that wouldn't be safe on my shield become safe because my up B can't punish it. That said, though, Link's Nair kind of does invalidate T-Jolt camping a lot. And as we've seen fighting Spidey a couple times, Forward Air actually does a good job of catching a Pikachu going high and trying to T-Jolt because it eats the T-Jolt and that just extends the hitbox. So I don't have a whole lot of difficulty fighting Pikachu once I'm in, or really keeping him out if I want to. It's just he's fast, so I have to keep my wall up. And honestly, it becomes a game of spamming there, sadly. But if he was easier to edge guard, I might put him even, but it is harder sometimes for me to capitalize once I have him off stage. And he's fast enough that once I'm off stage a lot of the time, or if I mess up, he's there to punish. It's not, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst matchup though, so I'm gonna put it right there. Let's see, who should we do next? We'll do. I'm gonna get this one out of the way. Well, see, that's the good thing about Link does have that a lot of people don't against Pikachu is bomb recovery usually does a pretty good job of getting me back if I know Pikachu's gonna go deep or is T-Jolt spamming. And there's a lot of the time that up B connects when it shouldn't if they're sitting at the ledge. But I still feel like it's in Pikachu's favor, but it's never a matchup that I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I'm getting destroyed. There's definitely some situations in it where I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that wins. Well, never mind what I was gonna do. But yeah, I don't feel too bad about the Pikachu matchup. Now then, Corrin, I don't ever fight. I don't want to exaggerate, but I think in the last 2 years I've maybe fought 3 or 4 separate Corrins, and that's not very often. So I can't tell if I do good against Corrin or if I just know how one specific person plays. It's hard for me to tell the actual character matchup there. I never run into them. Even online when I do like the online tourneys or when I used to play quick play, I think I ran into Corrin maybe once or twice. So I'm just gonna keep Corrin here for now. I would say even based on what I've played, but again, I haven't played a lot, so we're just gonna keep her there. Let's see, anybody else that's gonna go in even, we'll just go ahead and get them out of the way. Trying to look. Honestly, I don't think there's really many. Oh, here's one. I never fought them. I've only fought a couple. I'm gonna put Rosalie and Luma there just because. Let's see. Since I started streaming, I think we've only had like 2, and they weren't there for very long. I can't remember anything notable about any of the matchups I've had with them, but I can't say for sure if Link wins either. So for now, they're gonna go there. Snake. I'm gonna put. A lot of people would say Snake is in here, And I want to agree with him. But I think as long as I remember that I don't have to approach and just let him half the time, a lot of snakes will blow themselves up with their own. Now, not a good one, but I haven't really fought very many good snakes. Actually, yeah, no, we'll still keep him in there. I do feel like he doesn't ever really want to approach. He's fine doing his own thing, and then the more time I give him, the more time he has to set up traps and do things the way he wants, and then he just kind of pelts with grenades. His A lot of his moves are pretty decent. If they're stupid, I can usually do well, or if they just blow themselves up a lot of the time. But if dash attack maybe didn't cross up shields, that would be a little bit easier. But honestly, I fought a snake that all he did was throw grenades and like dash attack as movement, and I was having more trouble with that than I should have. I couldn't seem to punish a lot of it. His grenades would just kind of clank with my projectiles and eat them, and or would blow up my bomb, so a lot of my bomb positionings would be ruined. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep Snake there. Let's see. Who else? Who's next? We'll do me Sword Fighter. I think it's probably a slight win on me Sword Fighter, if not even. Um, Granted, most of the ones that I fight don't really know how to do much other than Tornado, but I think it's another one of those things that if I play patiently, play smarter, and don't just run into stuff, a lot of my moves are better than his. Nair works pretty good against him. Bomb usually works good against him, and so does Boomerang. It's very rare that I've ever fought a me Sword Fighter and felt like I was getting overwhelmed, or that I was losing because of the character. If I did lose, a lot of the time I felt like it was because of my own mistakes. So I'm gonna put him here. He's got a decently hard time getting out of disadvantage against Link, and I've never really felt like his advantage state is anything too scary. So we're gonna keep him at slight win. Continuing with the Mii's, I'm gonna say this one, and if he watches it, Sonic, it's literally just because of you. Before I would have had it even, but I've noticed that I struggle a lot with the range that Mii Gunner has and the variations of projectiles. Trying to get through that wall to navigate is hard. Once I get in, it's usually decent. And I can kind of counter camp with bomb, but it only works for so long, and a lot of the time I end up taking a decent amount of percent just to get a little bit of percent on you or to try to get through the wall. So I'm pretty sure most people might put Mii Gunner here. I'm gonna keep Mii Gunner here and lose. Kirby should be a win. Kirby's too slow. It's light, so works against it there. They could have a decent mix up with their recovery, but even then, if I'm patient with how slow they are, they can stall, but that's about it. As long as I don't get stuck close quarters against a Kirby or doing stupid stuff, I usually do perfectly fine. Like with a lot of other characters, I usually don't have an issue with Kirby. A lot of them like the dash attack, which unfortunately for them blows up bomb. But as long as I don't get cheesed, and I look out for Kirby does have a decepting amount of range. I do forget about that. Its close quarters is actually pretty good for Kirby. But getting through that navigation, pretty much, like, as long as I'm not the one approaching and making Kirby navigate my wall of projectiles and deal with my bomb and then not panicking, it's really hard for Kirby to get in or get advantage state going. Like I said, decent advantage state, good combos, good up close, but just has a hard time getting in. Let's see, who should we do next? Oh, we didn't do me brawler. I'm gonna put me brawler at even, honestly. I would put him at need more experience, but I fight a decent amount of them. It's just that they're not the best. They all go for like suicide kills pretty much. But I have to kind of treat him like a Mario, just with slightly like a worse combos, pretty much, as far as I can tell. So I feel like he's even. I just he's got a decent recoveries depending on which one it has, but a lot of them are also easy to get with bomb. He's got decent power, but I feel like he also dies earlier. I just feel like me brawler is like a slightly worse version of Mario in a lot of the times that I fight him. Let's see, next character. Who do you want, Mister? No, we'll do these two. Both Roy and Crom, wherever Crom went. Crom, honestly, slightly in here. And the sole difference is just that recovery. It's easy to spike if you time it right. If I hit him pretty much at all off stage, he's dead. And while they both have speed, which is really annoying to deal with. I find a lot of Roy and Croms don't use it correctly. They just kind of hold forward and mash. So in my experience, most of the time when I fight these two, it's a struggle between them getting through the wall and then keeping their advantage state. But if I can get back and get advantage on them, especially Crom, he dies very easily. Crom is probably one of those characters that is the easiest to kill at 0. Which means, near the ledge, just up B out of shield, and depending on what they do, they might be screwed. If I can knock them off stage before they get their double jump back, they're done. Roy's a little bit better. He's got a little bit better recovery. Downside for Roy, though, is his recovery will detonate my bomb. So, a lot of the time, I don't even have to detonate it. I'll just Z-drop the bomb off the edge, and while they recover, they detonate themselves. And his recovery is not the greatest either. But I don't know. It's a good Crom and Roy is scary, especially up close. But I feel like how easy they are to kill or gimp is what's holding them back from winning. And Link does outrange them. They both got decent out of shield, but I think Link's is better. Crom's especially is pretty predictable, whereas at least Roy's gives him a little bit of armor. Let's see. We'll get the Shotos out of the way next. Ryu and Ken. I'm gonna put at slight lose for both of them. Only because I can get stuck in shield a lot against them, and once they get in, I really, really struggle. But the flip side is Hadoken's not really the best. It's a decent zoning tool, but usually between them trying to get through Boomerang and Bomb, I can do decent. And as long as I play smart and don't get stuck in shield, I don't have a whole lot of issue against them. I do need to watch out for their recovery. A lot of the time I get caught on the ledge trying to sit about a roll's distance away or half a roll's distance or with a bomb set up or something, and I'll get hit from the top and forget about that. But I believe it's Ken specifically. His has fire, so it will detonate the bomb if it's on the ledge there. But I still think it's probably a slight lose, even-ish slight lose, just because once they get in, I do feel like I'm losing, but I never feel like they completely invalidate my playstyle. Ooh, these two, Simon and Victor. For me, they would be here, but I think in general for links they're usually even, so I'm gonna put them in slight lose, and it's because of how much range they have. Plus their cross is not really a better version of my boomerang, but if they clank, cross keeps going. Holy fire on the ledge, like their ledge trapping is good, and I can struggle dealing with that. Granted, I can bomb recover if I recognize it, but a lot of the time they're happy to kind of keep retreating, and then once I get them in a corner, a lot of the time they'll down tilt and then just go past me, and a lot of the time I can't catch it. So I feel like I constantly have to chase them down, which Link doesn't excel at, especially me with Link. And a lot of the time, if I am chasing them, they'll just do like a retreating back air or something, and I always forget the range. It's just, if they didn't have as much range, I'd put them at even. And I think a lot of other people would, but I personally struggle with these two a good amount. Dr. Mario, we're going to put at even because he's just he's a worse Mario, but he still has a lot of the tools that makes Mario good. Overall, though, I do have less difficulty with the Doc than a regular Mario. And his recovery sucks. Well, he's got decent, but if you gimp it at all, then he's kind of screwed. Let's see, next character. We'll do all the winnings. I feel like Incineroar does struggle from what I've played against Incineroars, which I have played a lot. I have a buddy that plays him. If I don't get caught by side B a lot of the time and just look out for like revenge, Incineroar really struggles. Nair's for some reason really works pretty good against him. He's slow. He's heavy, yeah, but the fact that he's slow again, he's just like all the other heavies there. He has to navigate my wall of projectiles to get anything going. And then a lot of his recovery, again, it's a lot of the same thing as if I have bomb on the stage or I throw bomb or Z drop it, it explodes automatically on him sometimes. I do have to look out for the grab. And Darkest Lariat's actually pretty fast and can put a lot of pressure on. But overall, I feel like outside of grabbing me, he doesn't have a whole lot to threaten my shield with, and he struggles getting in. And I feel like my friend would probably agree. He might put him at a slight win, but him maining Incineroar, I think he agrees that it's hard for him to get in, and it's not a fun time for him. Link usually should be winning that matchup. Let's see. We'll put both Marth and Lucina in even, and I know that's slightly controversial to some people. Some people think she's Link's worst matchup, but honestly, I've never had a lot of trouble fighting either one of them. Again, I could have just not fought one that knows the matchup very well, but usually it's pretty give or take. It's pretty even for the most part. They don't really combo me crazy. Their recovery's okay, but it's not the best. And if I do it right, bomb recovery can get around a lot of their edge guards. So I feel like a lot of the time it's even. It's just if I'm getting beat by one of these two, whoever's playing it is probably playing neutral better than me. That's what bomb recovery is. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, any character with a counter is going to be a bit of an annoyance for Link, but the sole fact that if I see that coming a lot, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, I still have that option of bomb recovery. So a lot of, like I said, a lot of the time whenever I fight these two, I feel like if I'm losing, it's very rarely a limitation of Link or me. It's or because of the characters, it's more because this person is outplaying me in neutral a lot. Like they're just playing better than I am. Which I know some people probably aren't going to agree with, but it's my personal experience. When the day comes that I fight, you know, the best Lucina in my state or something and I get absolutely wrecked, we might drop her down here. But for now, she's right there. Let's see. Terry. Terry is an interesting. I would put him down here, but I actually fight Terry quite a bit. And the only thing that's really holding him back is his recovery. And that's the main reason why I'm putting him in even. Yeah, he is scary. He's a monster up close, and when he's got his go, you can die pretty early. But Link usually kills him pretty well around the time he's getting go anyway. And his recovery, if it snapped to ledge, it'd be a lot easier. But he's pretty easy to edge guard. So as long as I'm on top of my game, I should never. It should be really hard for Terry to get back, and he still does kind of have to navigate my wall, just like these two do. It's just his recoveries don't snap to ledge, so that's why I'm gonna put him here. I have a little bit easier time edge guarding and ledge trapping Terry than I do with these two. Let's do DDD. DDD I'm gonna put as a slight win only because of how big he is. He can stall pretty well. Gordo does cause some issue, but then again, on the flip side, I can just kind of nair it in place, and then Gordo gets sent back to him. A lot of the time, Boomerang does a pretty good job of hitting him. If I could edge guard him more, it'd be higher, but his recovery is pretty good. Like I said, he can stall. He's got his armor on an up B on the way up. So a lot of the time, if I drop bomb, it just goes through it. He can be hard to kill, which works in his favor, and he kills me pretty early, but well, so the reason why I'm putting him here is again, it could be due to how much experience I have. I used to play a Terry every day almost for like 6 months. When I say his recoveries, I'm talking down B and side B, and even up B if he, depending on which one he does and how he's got it spaced. A lot of the time it won't snap, so I can either keep a bomb there. I can usually call out his recovery going high with power dunk with up B. I don't know. I just it might be a little biased, but like I said, I played Terry so much, way more than these two, and I very rarely do I feel like it's not pretty even most of the time. Like, yeah, I struggle once he gets in, but that's a lot of characters. I just don't ever feel like I struggle to edge guard him as much. And he doesn't really have a whole lot of options once you've kind of gimped him once. And I'm pretty confident with placing him in even. DDD we're gonna keep there. Honestly, Crom could go down here, but it's just because of how easy he is to gimp. Mega Man. We're gonna put Mega Man in a slight lose. I struggle a little bit against Mega Man, especially one that's good with their Leaf Shield and like their Z drop combos as well. But I feel like Mega Man shares a similarity with Game and Watch with their recoveries. For some reason, I have a lot of trouble dealing with them. But I do feel like once I get in, Mega Man does kind of struggle. I don't know. I don't fight him a lot either, so he could go here. But from what I have played, I'm gonna put him in a lose. Dark Samus we'll just put right here next to regular Samus. Let's see. Pit and Dark Pit are gonna be even as well. The only real thing I struggle against them is their down B. A lot of the time I forget about it and I don't go through it right. But I don't feel like they're really too broken. I feel like they're probably good being an even. I need more matchup experience on them, but even without fighting them a whole lot, I feel like based on the character, they're pretty confident they're an even. Let's see. I guess we'll get all the Pokemon out of the way. Lucario, gonna put out a win just because he starts at a disadvantage. Once he's got max aura, it's a little different, but a lot of the time, I don't ever really feel too threatened about a Lucario. He's got decent combos, but even then, that depends on his aura. And I don't know. I feel like more often than not, I win a lot of the interactions. So we're gonna keep him there. Some of these I'm not gonna go too in depth on because either I don't play them a lot, or I feel like they're just kind of even, or maybe a lot of the similarities. Pichu, we'll put there just because it's a worse Pikachu. Um, Jigglypuff. Should probably be a win. Jigglypuff, kind of like Kirby, struggles with a lot of the same things. It's got a good advantage state, good edge guarding, but these two struggle with a lot of the same stuff. Jigglypuff's lighter, and she can't shield for too long, but that rarely comes into play. Um, Generally, if I can avoid getting edge guarded and watch out for her normal combo starters, just anti-aired, it's hard for Jigglypuff to deal with Link. Up angled boomerang and anti-airs work really good against her, and she can die pretty early from a lot of just stray hits. So I'm pretty confident. I could put it in here, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna keep it there, and just because of her advantage state, it is pretty scary. Let's see what other Pokemon. We got Greninja. I'm gonna put Greninja in either lose or slightly losing. He should be in here, but I did fight one the other day that made me feel like Greninja was just winning in that matchup with his speed. I think you'll find the most common thing I struggle with is when somebody can kind of rush me down and not give me a second to breathe or set up my playstyle or anything like that. So anybody reasonably fast is probably going to be on this end of the spectrum. I know Crom's up there, but that's just because of his recovery. But yeah, I feel like I struggle with Greninja's combos and his speed sometimes, but he can struggle with getting in. Uh, let's see, where's the other Pokemon? Mewtwo. Hmm. For now, I'm just gonna put Mewtwo as even. I've only fought one really good Mewtwo, and it's been a long time since we played. But just because of how big and light he is, it really holds him down. He doesn't struggle too much with breaking my wall, and he's got good combo and edge guarding, but decent recovery. But just how light he is and his big body really holds him back sometimes. So we're just gonna keep him at even. Any other Pokemon in here? Where's Pokemon Trainer? Oh, there it is. All right. Well, for some reason this one's not separated, so I'm just gonna take the average of the three. Squirtle, I feel like I lose to. Ivysaur, I feel like is even, and Charizard, I feel like is slightly winning. So we're gonna put Pokemon Trainer here and even. Yeah, I mean, if they were different characters, I would probably expand a little bit more. But for the simplified version, that's about how I feel about each one of them. So Squirtle, Ivysaur, Charizard. Let's see, Captain Falcon, good old Falcon. I feel like Falcon's here. His advantage state is scary. He can be pretty explosive, but he's also easy to ledge guard. It's when I fight a Falcon, it's generally a game of who's going to get their advantage state first and who's just going to keep it going because both of our characters in that situation are not good at getting out of disadvantage. I have a little bit more tools to mix up and pressure with. So a lot of the time Falcon can struggle to get in a little bit, but by no means is he invalidated by Link's projectiles. It's just he's a little bit easier to ledge or edge guard. He sometimes he can be a little predictable, but that just depends on the person you're fighting, not necessarily the character. I feel like a good Falcon, it's down here, but the average Falcon I fight is probably in here. Oh, we forgot about Kazuya. Technically, he's not a Shoto, but so Kazuya is interesting. I would put him in here, but his stupid KO thing and a lot of his armor give me trouble. A lot of the time, he does armor through stuff. He can kill you just like Matt can at like 20, which annoys me, but that's a separate discussion. But I feel like he also does kind of struggle at approaching sometimes. He's got a decent recovery. It's definitely better than Max, but I'm gonna keep him at even for now. I've not fought a Kazuya yet that I felt wasn't even. Wario, I forgot about him. I need more matchup experience. I don't really fight Warriors often, so I don't know. Ice climbers, ice climbers are weird. I fought a really good ice climber player. They knew all their D sinks and they were really good. First match, They completely destroyed me. I would put them down here. But the next match kind of showed where Ice Climbers fall apart when Nana's not working right, and once you kind of play around their range, struggled a bit more. So I think, yeah, we'll put Ice Climbers here. A lot of the time we end up trading when I don't want to trade, which is annoying, but the AI for Nana, which is better now, but it still holds back sometimes. And especially if you can separate them. I don't know. I feel like really good Ice Climber probably in here, but the average one that I fight is in here. Robin, I'm going to put slight winning. I don't really struggle with Robins too much. See, the only issues I've had with them have been due to not knowing the matchup, but I feel like overall I win in this matchup. Rob, he's going to be a slight lose. He, a lot of the time, not to discredit Rob players, I feel like he just gets to mash. Speaking of mashing, Game and Watch. Game and Watch is going and losing. Anyway, back to Rob. I feel like a lot of the time he kind of just throws out stuff and it works. He can be, I can punish him, but he's got a pretty good recovery that he can mix up quite a bit. He's heavy enough that he doesn't die as early, and he can kill me pretty early. Yeah, I'm going to put Robin losing. Game and Watch, I don't know if I really need to explain. He's in losing. Game and Watch is hard for me to deal with. Every time I fight a Game and Watch, I feel like it's definitely an uphill battle. Like I have to. Man. Not that I mind fighting Game and Watches, but it's hard for me. He's definitely winning. They're losing technically. Shulk, I'm gonna put in a slightly lose because of his range. If a good Shulk with the Monado arts and everything is, it can be a struggle, especially if they've got all the Monado arts down. With his range, it can get really annoying. But on the flip side, I can usually do decent at edge guarding him. So I still think he wins. He's somewhere in here, but I'm gonna put him in slight lose. Steve. For now we're gonna put Steve in here. The only reason why I feel like I struggle with Steve a lot of the time, which he does have good combos, but it's a matter of if I get caught by minecart or not. If I watch out for minecart and play around it and don't rush in, then Steve starts to fall apart. But that's the other side too, is he's perfectly content with, for lack of a better word, not playing the game. He has no desire to go towards you. He doesn't care what you're doing a lot of the time. He's having fun doing his own thing, mining. And it's, once he's got that, it's kind of just a hassle to kind of get through his minecart and his block setups if they're good. Steve we were fighting the other day had actually a pretty good recovery. Usually they don't. But I'm gonna put him in here for now until time comes where I get destroyed, and then I might change my mind. Min Min. I'll put it here. Yeah. So, Min Min. Well, it's Min Min. But the only reason why she's not in losing, I don't need to make a case for her to be up here. The only reason why she's not down here is because once I get her off stage, I'm usually fine. Once I get through her wall, I can usually edge guard her fine. Honestly, theoretically, I should always be able to get her with Nair, but still. If she had a better recovery, she would definitely be down here. Just because it is a hassle for me to get in, and she's kind of fine. Well, it's Min Min. She doesn't really approach. She kind of just zones with her arms. But yeah, I'm gonna keep her here. I might regret that later, but either way, she's still winning against me. Piranha Plant, I hate this character. I don't know why. Every time I fight one, I hate this character. That being said, ideally, it's even. I just don't usually have a good time fighting them. It's one of those characters that, like, they're not doing anything wrong. It's just not the funnest for me. But overall, I'm going to put it probably somewhere in here. I'm going to put it here. Ike. Ike is going to be a slight win for the same, pretty much same reason as Crom. Whereas Ike has more range and more power, he's a little slower. And once I get in, he does struggle getting over Boomerang and Bomb. And if I go edge guard him right, he's kind of screwed. So we're going to keep Ike here. Granted, he does have his counter too, so he can do the same thing these guys do. But in general, I don't struggle against swordies as much as I do some of the other characters. Let's see, any more Fire Emblem characters in here? Nope. Alright. Yoshi. Yoshi is somewhere in here. I mean, he's also could be in here. It's all three of these. But I don't know how to deal with Yoshi. I never have. It feels like a lot of the time, again, not to discredit any Yoshi players. Obviously, they're winning. They're beating me, but it's kind of similar to fighting a Game and Watch to me. I feel like his buttons just get to be pressed, and it beats my buttons a lot of the time. But I am gonna put, in my opinion, Yoshi's here. He's not down here, cause, well, actually, I'm trying to make a reason why I don't have him down here. I think theoretically I could do good against Yoshi. It's just I don't know what to do. So we'll put Yoshi there. Fox is going to go even. He's got his speed and his combos, yeah. But a lot of the time he gets comboed pretty easily by Link as well. His recovery isn't the best. He's got a little bit of a mix up, but still, same reason as everybody else over here. My usual tools work fine against him a lot of the time. My Nair will actually beat his most of the time, which is something a lot of foxes like to approach with as well. So it's not good for them. And yeah, I think as long as I don't do anything stupid a lot of the time, Fox feels even. Luigi. Oh, Luigi. I like you, but I don't like you. Okay, if I don't approach Luigi, it goes here. But as soon as I start approaching Luigi, it goes down here. So we're going to put him at even. We're just going to split the ground, put Luigi at even. Theoretically, he should be up here. But in my experience, it's more down here. Ness is going to do the same thing. I usually don't have too much trouble fighting the PK boys. Lucas will put him right next to him. But they can be annoying. I find myself struggling with Probably Lucas more than. Well, actually, I don't know. Lucas's grab gets me more, but Ness's aerials I think are probably better. Anyway, I'm putting the PK boys in even. Oh yeah, let me go grab a water real quick. I forgot I was gonna go do that. Yeah, PK boys even. I don't I don't really have much to say. They can be annoying, yeah, but I don't ever feel too pressured. Olimar, I don't know. I don't fight very many of them. The ones I do fight are kind of just hit or miss, so I need more experience against him. Bowser Jr., we're going to put here. He should be here, but I have fought against some good Bowser Juniors, and I find I struggle with their approach, but overall, sometimes they can struggle approaching as well. So it's kind of a flip side. Like I said, with a lot of these other characters, I feel like it's even. K. Rool. Pre-patch, what, 6.0? He'd be here. But they just had to give him more armor on his crown and other moves. So he goes down here. K. Rool is not necessarily hard for me. And I definitely feel like Link wins it. It's just, it can be annoying. And especially if I don't have platforms, it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll just slowly chip away at you until you come up and do something stupid. Nair used to work pretty good. It would catch Boomer or Crown. It would actually do more damage, so it would go through his super armor and I could get into grab. But now I have to actually think about the way I approach that. So if I fight a good K Rool, it's a little hard. If I fight your average K Rool, I think Link wins more, but it's just annoying. But we're still going to put him in slight winning. Hero. Hero, hero, hero. If he has bounce, it's a lot harder. If he gets the RNG, it's a lot harder. But in general, I feel like Link should win more. In my experience, I'll put him down here. Theoretically, he should be in here, though. So I'll put him down here, but he should be somewhere in here for probably everybody else. Like I said, his is hard because of the RNG. Diddy Kong, I'm gonna put slightly losing. He's another one of those characters that's pretty fast, has good combo game, and you'll find I also struggle with command grabs a lot, which is interesting that these are up here, but I struggle with command grabs or long range grabs a lot because I sit and shield a lot. And that's something that both these two and where'd he go? I lost him. Oh, Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong also has. Duck Hunt, I feel like it's pretty even. A lot of it's them trying to set up their stuff, me trying to set up mine, and then having to navigate through all that. But he's got a pretty easy recovery to edge guard. He's got decent combos and kills, but so does Link. I feel like he's even. Bayonetta, I'm gonna put winning, slight winning. So a lot of what Bayonetta wants to do, Link's Nair and a B out of shield, honestly. Oh, thank you. What's up, Infinite? This is a matchup list, so my own personal matchup. In my opinion, me with Link, how I fare in these matchups. And right now we are on Bayonetta. Bayonetta, she doesn't have a whole lot to threaten my shield with, and a lot of her approaches are pretty committal. Oh, yeah. I was talking about you earlier. You're the reason why it's in there. Before I started fighting you, I thought me Gunner would probably be in here. Just even. Nothing special, just like Samus. But I struggle a lot with you, so in my experience, it's a slight lose. But yeah, Bayonetta, like I said, easy to kill her. She has her cutscene combos, but that's whatever. Link's heavy enough so he doesn't die a lot of the time. And her approach options are pretty limited. Usually I can grab or up B or nair out of shield whenever she approaches. In my experience, I typically do well against Bayonetta as long as I don't throw out random moves. Meta Knight, I don't know. I don't fight a whole lot of. Same with Isabelle. Actually, we'll put Isabelle as. Where did we put Villager? Where is. Oh, there's Villager. I'll put Isabelle in here. I struggle more with Isabelle's than I do with. Okay. Yeah, we might play. Oh, probably not today, but I don't know. We'll see. I gotta finish this, and then I was gonna do some editing, but I'll let you guys know in the Discord. It just to me, Isabelle is a slightly harder villager, and it's only because of her fishing rod. Overall, they're pretty similar, but she has that extra range grab that he doesn't, and she's more content to kind of be campy. So I have a harder time with Isabelle. I don't I don't know what that means, infinite, but let's see. Next up, we'll go with We Fit. We Fit should go here, but I did fight one recently, so I'll just go based off that experience. I feel like it's pretty even. I don't know what push and P means. Infinite. I'm not up to date with the cool lingo of the young kids. But where was I at? Oh, We Fit Trainer. So they can be kind of scary, but I don't ever struggle with them. Yeah, like it's mainly if they have deep breathing and they have an advantage, but they're not the best at camping too, and they kind of can struggle navigating my wall. So a lot of the time, as long as I don't get hit by random volleyballs or whatever she throws, and look out for deep breathing, I'm usually fine. ZSS, we're gonna put we're gonna put it here just because of how fast she is. I struggle with her sometimes. Flip kick usually gets around a lot of my edge guards. That's kind of on me, but I do feel like it makes me a lot harder to steal stocks with her. And she's got good combo game, so we're gonna put her in sight lose. Sora, we're just gonna put him at even for now. Even though he's the newest DLC. If I look out for his typical shenanigans, like he's got good combo game in the air, yeah, but his a lot of his stuff is pretty predictable. So as long as I don't approach essentially and get cocky, I usually do fine against Sora. He's just got some really janky moves sometimes. Sephiroth, honestly, a lot of the time, I win. Um, I can struggle with his range a little bit, yeah, but that's really about it. He doesn't. He kind of struggles with the same tools that everybody else up here can kind of struggle with, which is approaching me. Um, Recovery is pretty easy to punish. It's predictable. It's kind of similar to a Zelda, honestly, on the fact that like if I don't get caught doing stupid stuff and get caught by his up B or into a smash attack or something, I usually don't struggle. So Sephiroth's going to be a slight win, even though he does outrange me. Falco, I honestly I don't really know. We're just gonna put him in even. I really don't know for him. I've struggled against some Falcos and I've really not against others. Theoretically, he probably wins a lot of the time in the air, but if I have to approach or if he has to approach, he can kind of struggle sometimes. That could, but I don't know. I think it just like I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience on it. I need to fight more Falcos. Just I don't very often. For now, I'm just gonna keep him in even. A lot of these that are in even could honestly be down here as well. I'm just trying not to put too many down and need more experience. Next Persona stream is Saturday, I think. Saturday or Friday, one of the two. Because we might switch around the Diablo stream depending on people's availability. Yeah, I'll eventually upload this one to YouTube as well. I'm sure I'll get some differing opinions on a lot of these choices. Ridley, I feel like he's a win. Suffers from a lot of the same things a lot of these other guys have. Big body. He's just lighter. And he's pretty easy to kill, honestly, for Link. He's got a decent advantage game, but as long as I don't get caught in shield with side B or something, a lot of the time he really struggles to get past Boomerang. And actually, you know what? We're going to put him in winning. He's essentially a lot of the same flaws these other three have. Yeah. I mean, even then, depending on the percent, bomb recovery kind of just helps you out there. But yeah, he has a hard time getting in. He's not having a fun game a lot of the time. Sonic, 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 Sonic. He falls in line with a lot of characters that are down here, but I'm gonna put him as even because I have found that the more I've played Sonic, if I just don't throw out things and I don't panic, a lot of the time I can do pretty well against them. Like spin dash or whichever move it is, the three spins are annoying, but I think if I'm playing each of these matchups the way I should be, from what I know, I'm not doing anything stupid and paying attention, Sonic should be pretty even. Yeah. He does struggle with Nair too. Nair, if I remember right, it invalidates all of his like spin approaches. Just he gets hit with them. Inkling, we're gonna put in even. Honestly, as long as I don't get hit with roller or something like that, a lot of the time I don't struggle with Inkling. I'll give my overall thoughts on him, yeah. But I never feel overwhelmed when I'm fighting an Inkling. I just feel like, oh yeah, I should have known they were gonna land with roller. They've done that the last three times. Why did I still get hit by it, kind of thing. But it's never like, oh, what do I do here? How do I approach this? Or why do I feel like my character just can't keep up with this one? And that kind of applies to Wolf. Wolf, I'd be willing to put him here, but I'm gonna put him here. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because a lot of the time I approach with Wolf when I shouldn't. And that's where he catches me. He catches my jumps, or he catches me trying to get over his laser. And a lot of the time, his recovery is not the best. So as long as I don't get hit by a random side B while I'm trying to edge guard him, he can kind of struggle getting back. I have to approach Wolf pretty similar to that I have to for Falco. Kind of. I can't get caught jumping over his lasers with like a forward air or something. But other than that, I don't find myself struggling against Wolf a lot. It's just a matter of like, oh, okay, do I want to approach or do I want to just keep playing the projectile game? Hey, I appreciate the bits there, Em. But some of these, so some of these could be moved around. I could easily make a case for some of these to be higher or lower. But I think these definitely. They're down there. And about half of the ones in here could go either way. They could either go to even or they could go to slightly losing. And same could be said pretty much these three categories right here. I could make a case for some of them being up or down. Now, this might just be because of me, and I like to think that it's not so much the character, but there's a lot of the times when I'm fighting or in matchups where a lot of it I blame on myself, and that's probably why why a lot of them are even or just slightly. Like I can see situations, but very rarely do I feel like I'm outplaying somebody due to their character or vice versa. The only thing that Rob does worse than Snake is that Rob's a little bit bigger and easier if I can actually hit him to edge guard. For some reason, Snake can go through some of my edge guards. Like if I drop down there, I don't know. I have a little bit easier time versus a Rob. Rob does kind of get to mash, but Yeah, I could put Rob down here. I could put Yoshi down there. There's a lot of these. Little Matt could go down here, but he shouldn't. Um, but like these characters, these are pretty much the ones that I feel like on paper I should never lose against. With the tools that Link has and how those characters are designed, Link should win there, and I should as well. Um, I'm not sure. I still have to do some stuff. I gotta edit, and then I gotta do some stuff for the VA, but we'll see. Yeah, I have to work tomorrow and Thursday. That's why I was off today and yesterday. How about this? If anybody has any grievances with this list and you feel like you can prove to me your point, I'll do a quick best of three with those characters, Link and that character, and then I'll take that into consideration. But all right, you want the monkey. Let me go ahead and save this. Or you know what? Here, I'll do that on my own. I'll go ahead and start up Smash here in a second. All right, let me make sure that this is working properly because I'm not going to be able to see the screen. But yeah, we'll do a quick best of three. Now, this doesn't mean if you win, I'm going to move the character. It just means if you can prove your point that this character wins against Link, then I might consider it. Let me go ahead and save that real quick, because I did not. It's 1478. I'll still be able to see chat, but I didn't feel like switching over my screens, so I'm not gonna be able to see the stream. There's another reason why I'm very cautious about putting a character in pure winning or pure losing, because it kind of makes, for pure losing, it makes it seem like, in my opinion, I'm like, oh well, the only reason you guys won is because you're playing these characters that win this match. Like, that's not what I like to say at all, and I'd rather just have things even. feel like you're not really disproving my point though. Donkey Kong struggles to get in, and I mean, once he does get in, he's got a good advantage state, but he struggles a lot. He has to work a lot harder than I do just to get the same parts of progress. Like, see, like, it's just, he struggles. I mean, even then, there's not a whole lot the character can do to deal with those tools, though. I mean, not saying you can't get in, you can't win against Link, but it's a lot harder for you than it would be for other characters, or than it should be half the time. Like, that shouldn't have hit. It only hit because Donkey Kong is massive. See, none of that should have worked, but it's only because it's Donkey Kong. Alright, I'll give you one more. I did say 3. Well, I think technically I said a best of 3, but we'll do one more.
2, 1, go!
How did that reach? Okay. Ah, of course. Very well. Okay, they got me. Oh well, that's 3. Anyway, I think my point still stands though. Oh, DK was at the winning, and he still is. Alright, I'll give you one more, M. Like I said, they can win, but not most of the time are they going to. And they're going to have to try a lot harder than Link does. GG's. No, it's still winning. Alright, I'm gonna switch back from Smash. there's any other characters that you would like to dispute, now is probably the time. I think I might have closed the window, but we'll see. No, I didn't. Okay. Like I said before, a lot of this entire area right here could be argued to go down or up one. But oh, actually, I believe, yeah, right here. Can you? All right, Mister wanted me to kind of go over Link in general. So thoughts on Link in general? I think Link is B tier, I guess, if you want to do it from F to S, mid to high. He's got a lot of good tools and a lot of good advantage, but there are some matchups where he really struggles with, and a lot of scenarios where he's limited by his kit. Versus a pure camper, or a zoner, I guess, he's gonna struggle a little bit because his zoning isn't the best. He's a good hybrid of a lot of things, but I wouldn't say he necessarily excels at any specific regard. He can do some zoning, he can do some trapping, very limited rushdown. He's got decent combos, not very many, and only a couple kill confirms. Not counting bomb shenanigans because bomb shenanigans aren't always viable. But as far as consistent bread and butters, he's got a couple kill confirms, but he's not good enough to, I think, put higher than what I have him at. So he should probably be somewhere in here. Mid to high tier, just there's some matchups where it's kind of easy and some matchups where it's really not. He's definitely not like a Mithra with a lot of privilege. Granted, they have bad matchups too, but still. Overall, I like Link how he is now. They could have done a little bit better. Like if he would have came out as DLC, he might be a little broken. But his speed's holding him back a lot. He's pretty slow. He's got good range and kill power. And like I said, he tends to get overwhelmed a lot. I don't think your Corrin is going to be any experience worth changing this chart for. Just going to go ahead with that. I thought we covered why Seth was in there. Were you not here? So the reason why I have Sephiroth up here is because a lot of the time, if I don't essentially play stupid and run into his attacks, I don't find myself struggling a lot. Yes, he does outrange me, and I can kind of struggle with that, but I feel like he struggles more with my kit than I do with his. And he's pretty light, which is the downside for him. His recovery is decent, but it's also pretty predictable. But the fact that he's so light is what's really holding him back. If he was a little bit heavier, he'd probably be an even. But much like with Terry, where did I put Terry? Terry's over here. Around the time his comeback mechanic starts to kick in is around the time he can die pretty easily from Link. And I don't feel like his normal toolkit is anything too hard for Link to deal with. Like I said, he's got good range. If he fades back and you're an aggressive player, you can struggle with him. But I don't personally, usually. But yeah, I think if there's no other questions or comments on this that you would like for me to explain more, I think that's probably going to be it. I may not stream later on. It just depends. I might play a couple matches or something, but yeah, I think that's going to be it. So thanks for hanging out, guys. And feel free to tell me that I'm wrong on my matchup chart. I fully expect some backlash on this, but I'm gonna go ahead and go finish editing this damn video. But we'll see you later.